Tonight's subject is the living trust, an irrevocable trust versus a revocable trust. Pros and cons. The irrevocable trust or revocable, because a lot of us, we don't know, we're not sure. Asset protection, estate, tax benefits, Medicare planning, avoids probate, cannot be changed. See, when it's irrevocable, once you've said it, can't be changed. The minuses or plus, well, the X's are loss of control, less flexibility, complex setup. It's more complex to set up an irrevocable trust. Now, I believe most of you want to go with a revocable trust, which is full, what is that? Well, I'm not even looking at this properly. Full control, full kind of be changed. Huh? Okay. Yeah. Okay. You don't have loss of control, less flexibility, complex setup, no asset protection, subject to estate taxes, meaning you can be taxed, Medicaid risks, no tax benefits. Remember, you can still change a revocable trust. Okay. So do I have any readers tonight? Let's look at why we need a trust. But next Thursday, we're going to go in how you can set up a trust, and we may even touch in what is the template, so you can go ahead and get a trust and sit down with a solicitor and begin the process.
Trust types made simple. The major difference between a revocable versus an irrevocable trust is that the revocable trust can be updated very easily. An irrevocable trust is a type of trust that would be more difficult to update. So imagine writing a trust with a pencil. That's a revocable trust because with a pencil, you can erase. And imagine writing an irrevocable trust with a pen. That's going to be much more difficult to erase. For most people, they should start with a revocable living trust. A revocable living trust is the best tool to make sure that when you pass away, your beneficiaries would be able to receive your inheritance without having to go to probate. An irrevocable trust often is used when you have estate tax issues, when they will need asset protection. So before you lock your assets into an irrevocable trust, you want to make sure that that is the right fit for your situation, or else you could spend thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars trying to correct that mistake.
So there you go. I would then figure that most people want a revocable trust. Who would like a revocable trust? Put a 1 in the chat. Or who would like an irrevocable trust? Put 2 in the chat. So those of you in favor of a revocable chat, put a 1. Those of you in favor of an irrevocable trust, put a 2. Right. So who would like to read tonight? Who would like to read? I promise you, we're not going to go over 25 minutes of reading. We won't do that. Yeah, because I understand we can switch off. I get it. But please give me 25 minutes and we will be good. And I'm going to show you a template of a trust and what you can use, a revocable one. It seems that more people are in favor of a revoke. Okay. A couple of people say 2. Interesting. How many of you got a trust? Put a 1 in the chat. And at the same time, if there's any volunteers, you can read.
I don't know reading, brother.
Well, Islam, go ahead. Go ahead. It's power of consent. Go ahead.
You want me to start reading, yeah?
Okay. Yep.
Okay. The scope on irrevocable versus revocable trusts. What makes a trust irrevocable or revocable? The distinction between irrevocable and revocable trust is in their flexibility and control over the trust's assets post-creation. Revocable trusts allow the trust maker, also known as the grantor, the freedom to modify and dissolve the trust at any point during their lifetime. This flexibility means that the trust maker can adjust the trust terms, beneficiaries, and assets as their wishes or circumstances change.
Pause 1 second. The word grantor is a person or organization that transfers ownership of property, creates a trust, or provides funds, grants, to another party. Primarily used in legal and financial contexts, the grantor gives up assets or authorizes a legal transfer to a guarantee. So you got grantor, excuse me, or guarantee. Yeah? Grantor or grantee. So which one would you be? A grantor or grantee? The giver or the receiver? Grantor gives, grantee receives. Go ahead, D.
On the other hand, irrevocable trusts cannot be altered or revoked once established, effectively transferring the control of the assets out of the trust maker's hands. This relinquishment of control has significant legal and tax implications, making the assets subject to the trust terms irrevocably. Pros and cons of irrevocable trusts. Pros: asset protection. Since the trust maker no longer owns assets transferred to an irrevocable trust, they're generally protected from creditors. Sorry, what it is a message has come up and it's covering my screen.
Okay, no worries, carry on.
Okay. All right. Asset protections. Since the trust maker no longer owns the assets transferred to an irrevocable trust, they're generally protected from creditors and legal judgments against the trust maker. Estate and gift tax benefits. Transferring assets into an irrevocable trust can reduce the size of the trust maker's estate, potentially lowering estate taxes upon their death. Additionally, assets transferred may qualify for gift tax exemptions.
Does that sound beneficial? Does that sound beneficial? Estate
Absolutely.
actually lowering estate taxes upon their death? Okay, because we've got to know both sides. Carry on.
Eligibility for government benefits. By removing assets from trust makers' estates, an irrevocable trust can help beneficiaries. Can you move? Yep. Qualify for government benefits such as Medicaid without depleting the trust's assets. Cons: loss of control. Once assets are placed into an irrevocable trust, the trust maker cannot alter the trust terms or reclaim them, which can be a significant drawback for those who wish to retain flexibility. Complexity and cost. Establishing an irrevocable trust can be more complex and costly due to the need for precise drafting to ensure that the trust's objectives are met and to navigate the tax implications effectively. Irrevocability. The permanent nature of an irrevocable trust means that mistakes or changes in circumstances cannot be easily rectified, requiring careful consideration and planning before establishment.
So it seems like a revocable trust is the most favorable one. It seems. Now, here we go with revocable. Go ahead, sis.
Okay. Pros. Pros and cons of revocable trust. Pros. Flexibility allows the trust maker to amend or revoke the trust at any time, adapting to life changes. Probate avoidance. This method facilitates the transfer of assets to beneficiaries without going through the probate process.
Right,
Saving
probate.
time.
Probate. A lot of people still don't know what that word means. It's a legal process of administering a deceased person's estate. Got to get into that, what that word estate means. Estate means everything you own under your name. Estate. Validating their will and distributing assets. Remember, if you got a will, you put it under a trust. You put it under a trust. Typically required to transfer sole name assets. It involves proving the will's validity in court, paying debts, taxes, providing legal authority. It's court, basically. That's what probate is. You want to avoid court. We always say that. Go ahead, sis.
Okay. Continued control. The trust maker retains control over the assets within the trust during their lifetime.
Now, is that grantor or grantee? See? I want us to think. Trust maker. Is a trust maker a grantor or grantee? What do you reckon, D?
Grantor.
Good.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We've got to get familiar with this new language, people. This is new language. Yeah? Go ahead, sis.
The grantor is also the trust maker.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Incapacity planning provides a mechanism for managing the trust maker's assets in the event of incapacity and without court intervention. Privacy protection keeps the estate's affairs private as opposed to the public record of probate.
Right. So we're talking about revocable trust here. This is the pros. When you got a revocable trust, you stay private. Aren't we trying to live in the private? We read that book a few months back. So aren't we trying to live in the private? See? Because once it's probate, public record, which is court, probate, it costs money, it costs everything. Now here's the cons. Go ahead, sis.
Okay. Cons: no asset protection. Assets within the trust are still considered part of the trust maker's estate for creditor claims and legal judgments.
Wow. So that means it can be taken by the state.
Estate tax inclusion. For tax purposes, the assets in a revocable trust are included in the trust maker's taxable estate at death.
So you'll be taxed at death. Okay.
Initial costs. Setting up a revocable trust involves upfront legal fees, which may be offset by future savings on probate and expedited asset distribution.
Expedite, that's right. So that do we know what that means? Setting up a revocable trust involves upfront legal fees, which may be offset by savings on probate and expedited asset distribution. So it may be offset. Setting up a revocable trust involves upfront legal fees. So you pay the solicitor, to do the writings and the documents and all that, couple of £100, which may be offset by future savings on probate. Because in other words, you won't have to go court.
Right. Yeah.
You save more money doing a revocable trust. That's what most of us want to do. Yeah. I think it'll fit us most better.
Yeah.
This is the last one.
Okay. Choosing between.
Won't keep you long, people. This is a short one. Go ahead.
Choosing between irrevocable and revocable trusts. Deciding between the two means understanding their benefits and constraints, as well as how they align with individual estate planning objectives. For those seeking maximum flexibility and the control over modifying their estate plan as their situation evolves, a revocable trust is often the preferred choice. It suits individuals who prioritize authority over their assets and who desire a mechanism for privacy and probate avoidance without the immediate need for asset protection or tax advantages. Conversely, an irrevocable trust may be more suitable for individuals primarily focusing on asset protection, reducing estate taxes, or qualifying for government benefits. By relinquishing control over the transferred assets, the trust maker can achieve these objectives, although at the cost of the trust's flexibility and the ability to make changes in the future. Ultimately, the choice between these trusts should be informed by thoroughly assessing the trust maker's goals, such as asset protection, tax planning, government benefit eligibility, and the desire for flexibility. Consulting with estate planning or legal professionals can provide valuable insights tailored to specific needs.
Right. Anything on that, Dee? You want to speak on that? Anything?
I think with the revocable trusts, that's going to be more about, like when you were saying initially about like our digital ID, documents and stuff like that. But I think with the irrevocable trust, that's going to be more about like if you have land, things that are not going to change. The ownership of your land is not going to change.
No.
Like your house, and I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it, but like long-term assets.
Land is long-term.
Or financial assets. That's what I mean. Like financial assets that are going to could be subject to like tax and stuff like that.
Got you. So people in the chat, tell me, after reading this, what would you go for? 1, an irrevocable trust. 2, revocable trust. That's 1, an irrevocable trust, or 2, a revocable trust. Dun, 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 dun. Because we've got to have proper information, man. Tell us in the chat.
Couldn't we have both?
Whoa, now that's a good question that I don't have the answer to.
I don't see why not. I don't see why not.
Well, you can't. Well, the only way the reason I'd say you can't is because if you're representing one person, then and you have one name, then one name. Let's say you have a revocable trust, but your assets are going to be in that revocable trust. What assets are you going to put on the irrevocable trust? Even if you could have both, what assets are you going to put in your irrevocable trust? What assets are you going to put in your revocable trust?
Maybe things like, like if you've like patents, inventions, like your things that, like say for instance, if you wrote a book, like the rights to the book, like the commissions on the book going forward and things like that.
Right. Mary said that, okay, that irrevocable trusts in the States have been overturned. Okay. So I would like to know why, if that is the truth. But look, can you have 2 trusts? Well, if it depends again. If you could have 2, what would you put in either or either? But let's carry on reading this, sis. It's good to know these things, though, folks, so that when you're sitting down with a solicitor or anyone, you know. Now you know. And by the way, in the UK, it's not called a revocable trust. It's called a discretionary trust. Discretionary trust. Go and Google it. The American term is revocable trust or irrevocable. Get it? We're going to get into that. Anyway, go ahead, sis. We just read this last part and we're done.
Okay. Key takeaways. Accessibility for all. Living trusts are not exclusively for the wealthy. They offer significant benefits for individuals and families at all financial levels, which emphasizes their utility in various estate planning scenarios. Simplicity and cost savings. One of the most compelling advantages of living trusts is their ability to simplify the estate planning process and generate long-term savings by avoiding the probate process.
What? That's a revocable one. That's right. Go ahead.
Flexibility of revocable trusts. Providing unparalleled flexibility, revocable trusts allow the trust maker to amend or dissolve the trust as personal circumstances or wishes change. Asset protection and tax benefits of irrevocable trusts. These trusts offer substantial asset protection from creditors and legal judgments, as well as potential tax advantages that can benefit the trust maker's estate and beneficiaries. Informed decision making. Choosing between an irrevocable and revocable trust depends on the trust maker's specific estate planning objectives, including considerations for control, asset protection, and tax implications. Professional guidance recommended. Navigating the distinctions between irrevocable and revocable trusts and understanding their implications for estate planning can be tricky. You should likely seek professional advice to make informed decisions that align with your goals.
Right, so it's really a personal choice whether you want to go for revocable or irrevocable. Family, that's it. We're not doing a lot of reading. We're not doing a lot of reading tonight. That's it. I promise you, we're not going to do a lot of reading. I just wanted you to lock in for a few minutes. Well done to you all. So we're at the point where we will entertain questions and answers. Next Thursday, we'll have Charmaine Simpson will come on with an expert in trusts. Now you know what a trust is, but I'm going to show you the framework or template, what you can use if should you choose to go ahead and get a trust. Thank you, Dee. Now, family, anyone with any points or questions, this is your time. Yeah, this is your time. We got through it pretty quickly, that part. Anyway, there's more to go through. We could carry on reading. Actually, we could carry on reading. Any points? Any questions? This is your time. Nope. Okay.
Brother, maybe ask people to put a one in the chat if they don't mind you continuing to read.
Well, iPhone is just, okay. So anyone that'd like for us to carry on reading? Yeah, because I want to show you the structure of a trust. Because how do you do it? A lot of you may be asking questions. How do you formulate a trust? See, how do you formulate a trust? That's the question. Yeah, and I want to show you how we can go about finding out how we can build up a trust, revocable or irrevocable. I don't want to keep people up too late now in these times. I'm going to show something real quick. In the meantime, if anyone's got any points, okay, people are asking how. Okay, so let's do it. Let's do it. So we've gone into the benefits of it. We've gone into the why. We've gone into the need of it. But how do we do it? Now I put in it, it gives asset protection. Yeah, that's either revocable or irrevocable. We should know which one now. What one gives you asset protection? Revocable or irrevocable? Put it in the chat for me. A trust can help protect assets like property and investments from risks such as creditors or bankruptcy, divorce settlements, mismanagement, and beneficiaries. Which trust will protect you in terms of your assets, in terms of the creditors? Do you know, is it revocable or irrevocable? Yeah? I'll say it's the irrevocable. No, excuse me. The irrevocable one. Let me know in the chat if I'm wrong. 2, control over how assets are used. You can set rules about who gets what, when they get it, and how it's used. So that's why I asked ChatGPT. Yeah? Estate planning, inheritance tax. Trusts are commonly used to manage or reduce inheritance tax. Oh yeah. So when you got a trust, the inheritance tax vampires can't come and get your property. Some trust, and you, by the way, again, I'm going to say this: register your homes not register, but put your homes in a trust. Put your homes in a trust. Right. So let's ask ChatGPT the same question I asked it last Thursday. You got privacy, probate delays, which is a revocable trust, or is it irrevocable? Do you save court fees by having a revocable or irrevocable trust? Who can remember? Let's see who's got it right. And then I'm going to ask it to do a template. So that's, okay, got some janky spelling there, don't worry. So this is what you do, ladies and gentlemen. We said this last Thursday. Yeah? You can do it yourself now. And you're not doing a will, you're doing a template for a trust that will protect your will. So let's look at this. So here it is. This is paperwork. This trust of deed of trust is made on the date. You put a date, full name of settlor or settlor's address. That would be you. And full names of trustees. Who are the trustees? So it could be family members, close friends. For those of you who don't trust your wife or your husband, don't put their name in there. Name of trust. What is the name of the trust? The name of the trust could be your first and last name. The John Smith Foundation, for example, or collective, or John Smith Trust. This is what the wealthy and the rich do all the time. They do it all the time. I can't remember the name of the lady MP. She done it. Declaration of trust. Settlers transfers the assets listed in Schedule 1. Assets could be anything. Anything that is a property and asset of value. Yeah? That's what it is. Who's the beneficiaries? Can you be settlor and beneficiary at the same time? That's the question. Yeah? Right? Hold on. Let me just ask these questions. Check it out. You've got to use the technology. So you can, yes, you can. You can be both settlor and beneficiary of a trust in the UK. So you want to make sure when you're doing your template, where is it now? Yeah, you want to make sure that you are settlor and beneficiary. And this is a revocation amendment. Okay, that's so this is a revocable trust. So you have absolute control. The members of your trust could be family members, people you trust. Literally, proof is in the pudding. It does what it says on the tin. The word trust. Okay? Use ChatGPT. Some of you are very suspicious of ChatGPT, but use it. Use it. I've just asked it a couple of questions. So we know revocable trust is the right way to go. We know why we need to do it. And we know it's going to benefit us long term, especially with all the digital crime that's going on now, especially with us having ourselves up on social media, what's going on with Companies House, all of these things. So here it is. Right. So family, if you want, I can continue to read for about 10 more minutes and we can close out. Or if you've got any questions or any points, then the floor is open. You can unmute yourselves. And then we'll close out for the evening because I just want to seed your minds. Yeah, it says trusts can only last 125 years. That's right. But in the trust, that's where you put, that's why revocable trust is more favorable. Because if it's irrevocable, you can't change it until 125 years. I set up a whole new one. And I just want to show you every single borough in the United Kingdom is a trust. Yeah, every single borough. I'm going to prove it to you. Yeah. They say that not, but if you go to the websites of, or if you go to Companies House, you will see that a lot of them are trusts, PLCs, LLPs. Your councils hold things in, they hold the property in trust. Yeah, they hold property in trust, family. All right. Let's just look at the chat section. And the NHS too. That's right. The NHS. But the floor is open, family. I didn't want to keep it for too long tonight because there's a lot of read. Okay, I see a hand up. Streets, go ahead.
Yeah, hello everyone. Like this is my very first time on this call. Like I was listening to something last week and I heard someone was talking about this and they said power consent. I memorized it, went straight to my email and just sent it. But do you have a reading list? Is it on your YouTube channel?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
We do have some books that we've covered on YouTube. What we do over here, we read a little bit and we break it down. But what we may do, family, is do just one day where we just read. We're just going to read. That's going to be for the hardcore. That might be only 5 or 10 people, but we're just going to read. Yeah, and that's what we're going to do. What we have been doing thus far is breaking it down. But if you folks prefer just reading, where we just read books, and we're not just reading books on law, we're reading books that are more exciting than law books. If you want to do that, we'll do that on Sundays. We've got a good book called The Millionaire Mindset. That's the next book I really want to read. The art of passing the buck. Wow. Okay, I'll look that up.
Okay.
Oh, that
So,
sounds
I mean,
like very good.
yeah. Do you? I mean, is there a website though separate from the YouTube channel, like